Good evening and welcome back to Tiny Bunny. Today was something shining on the ledge among the scattered theaters. My glasses with feathers, the ones that Simon took from me. How did they get there? Was it a gift from the goggling night? Did it all really bring them here? I look at the front yard, at the foreboding cling at the toothy forest. Maybe it's just a trap. They all bring it here. A little thing to lure out of the house and then catch you, because maybe it's flying above your head. But you can't hear it because the wings are silent. Every wing flap is silent. Flap. Not a soul, not a trace of our late night guest. Only the old lamppost streaming like a lone watchman among the snowy desert. The dry window frame creaked. I tore away the insulating tape and the stipes of glued newspaper. Stipes of window insulation. Before plastic windows became widely accessible, Russia, the cracks and frames of windows were full of cotton or pieces of cloth and sealed with self-adhesive taped or strips of newspaper soaked in soapy waters to conserve heat in winter. Okay, two things is kind of interesting and sadly, but nice that they managed to make their own cheap way to make window isolation, finally. Open the window with big trouble. Frost pinned me with its little needles. The paintings on my walls moved from the draft. I touched my glasses, sure they would melt in my hands, but they were real. My brain was scrambling for an explanation. Simon and his gang just pulled a prank on me, that was it. That's it. A smooth white blanket was glittering under the street lamp just outside our yard. If anybody was to get too close to the house, to climb the pipe to the ledge of my window, the woods surely leave footprints. Here's one, the claws, but there were no one. I see claws here. There are footprints. I cautiously took my glasses. My wrist was still attacked. Nobody pulled me into the darkness, full of restless writhing.
Вы почему не спите?
Why aren't you in bed? I switched from source, almost fell out of the window.
Совсем сдурели?
Are you out of mind?
Жарко, что ли?
Did it feel hot in here?
Не болели
Do you
давно?
want to catch a cold?
Там сова была! Тоша ее прогнал!
The owl was here. Tosha chased it away.
А ну-ка марш спать к себе в комнату!
Go to your room immediately and get in your bed.
А с тобой?
And you... Mom passed directly her seething eyes at me. She would think of a punishment equivalent to my crime. And then she just waved her and took Olga by the shoulder, left throwing gloomy words my way.
Завтра поговорим.
We will talk tomorrow. Oh, please don't do this to me. I managed to get the frame back in place with a couple of hits. I pressed the latches with all the strength my finger could muster. The cold left the room, but the fear was still present. I placed my glass on my nose and started studying my reflection in the window. I didn't look like a face, more like a death mask. Just like the one worn by the boy from the notice board. That night, I was on the edge of joining him there. A black and white face was staring me through the clearing between student heads. And this wasn't water, his face was right beside it. I recognized the fat cheeks, the damaged skin. Semyon. Attention shouted him saying, Semyon Baburian, 30 years old, grade 6B. He left for school in the morning of January 9th, my birthday, and never returned. Features 155 to 160 centimeters, shabby ginger hair and grey eyes, was wearing a dark brown sheepskin coat, a beige scarf, a black mink, and hat and Alaska boots. Please call these numbers if you have any information on Siemens whereabouts. Barbara's photo was printed out and placed under the glass, like an exhibition piece. The owl catch Semyon. Episode 3. On the end, the wolf's grey fool will stand. So we are episode 3 now? Oh, episode 5 will be out, I think, like... yeah, December or so. He's the one who hated Bavarian. You think he did it? I heard he's a weirdo. I heard he rubbed my glass. The glasses. Simon was clutching him in a fist while I was getting beaten up. And in just a couple of hours, this lost item was lying on the ledge of my window. It was hard to imagine that Simon suddenly got guilty conscience and returned my glasses in such a strange way. I was shocked, but I kept walking toward the classroom, accompanied by nasty whispers all around me. That photo still stood before my eyes. Simon has gone missing. Semyon has gone. His fat fingers will never get to my throat. His signet ring once smashed into my chin. He will never humiliate me again. Wasn't that what I wished for? On the other hand, did I really wish someone to become a murky stain on the notice board? He was still someone's son or a grandson. He went through the same struggles as me. Maybe through the same struggles, but you had totally different actions. Maybe I'm a little hard to him, but we will see what the future brings us. Did I really wish for an unseen companion to dispatch him in such a brutal fashion? Yes. Yes, I did know the answer, or I was just scared of it. Nonetheless, schools still had something nice about. Pulling that girl with a violin was like mountain spring, like well water that you gulp down, pressing your lips against a sink, out the ring of a bucket and can't even get enough. Remembering our work is then cool off my head. Paulina's hatred towards dogs, while understandable, was still alarming. Yep. Could a charming girl like her really be nesting something so repulsive inside her heart? I need to say, we Westerners, we Westerners have some, like a negative picture out of the Russians. But yeah, the war so makes also negative towards the negativity. And every time I see the stereotypes in movie films, they're all assholes, they're all smashing their wives or whatever. I think so. No, that's not true. And then I'm reading like newspaper, a streamer or so. He was annoyed by his girlfriend and he closed her out of the house and she froze to death or so. And it's like, what the fuck happening sometimes in this country? But every country has this crazy bastards, and some of them are also presidents. So next time, we ignore this now. We are back in the 90s. I was like 5 in this time or so. Yeah. A beauty outside, a demon on the other side, right? I immediately remember my dad's shady past that recently resurfaced. A person I idolized was the reason for us moving to this bleak countryside. At least he was, according to Mom's screams, that we're coming from the other side of the wall. We come from the other side of the wall? Still, Polina tried to defend me from a delinquent gang, even if she failed at it. She was pleading for Romka to leave me alone and gathered my belongings that were strewn around the forest while fighting tears. And when these bastards tried to drag her away, she resisted with all the might she had in her fragile body. I don't think so. I'm sorry. Yeah, she collected all the items what we lost, and she tries to help us. But still, this animal abuse side is like, oh, maybe she's a little sadistic because every time she got bullied, and now against the dogs she can feel superior, you know. And then she was the one to find my house, lost among the taiga, and told my dad that I lied there, alone in that, abandoned in the middle of the forest after the beating. Maybe I'm being too harsh on it. Nope. What if I make her one of the characters in the story I'll draw? The protagonist will save her from terrifying monsters. Uh-oh, Romka and the other dude. As soon as I thought of monsters, a bunch of my classmates slid down the rails, smirking like the xenomorphs from the Alien. Ah yeah, Alien is still out. It's out. I merely feel a lovely in my stomach. I didn't want to cross paths with Romka and Biash after what happened yesterday, especially since Simon suddenly went missing. Paulina seemed eager to talk to me, but her expressions sort after noticing the aforementioned dude, and she walked past, leaving me a single sorry look. Oh, okay, aforementioned. Okay. Interesting. Okay, I need to remember this one. I know what this means now, but okay. English is such a simple language. It's so nice. I entered the classroom and went out the last row. And all of the shutters suddenly died down, so I walked there in complete silence. I felt like my classmates pushed and poked me with their stares. They carefully observed my every move. They think we are a killer. They look at me with a mortifying mix of pity, ridicule, and derision, like a scientist looks at an ugly representative of a newfound species of worm. I stare at the desk with a huge pile of library textbooks on top, my fists clenched. I feel like I was the one who disappeared in a snowy forest and my desk was finally used for something worthwhile. Simeon's empty chair stood in front of me. The chair that once belonged to Vova carried dust somewhere in another classroom. I look at the portraits of classical writers. My eyes stop on Essence? Photo. Last year, I was tasked with learning any poem, and that suggests I learned one about the dog, Jim, written by Essendine. I don't remember all the stanzas by now, but the last one was somewhat deeply ingrained in my memory. I'm sure she will come here in my absence. Please catch your eye, go kiss her hand for me. For all Maria of fancied errors asking, forgiveness of her in humility. An old sheep's light projector. I called the model a tank because this looked like one. There was a time when I had a lot of cool fairy tales that we used to watch with Dad in complete darkness. I remember Little Raccoon and Who Sits in the Pound, Kipling's Mowgli, and many others. I was immediately swept away by the memory of the projector's hum, of its hot casing, of its bright rays hitting the wall, turning into a screen. It's a pity that the school slides were mostly about mirrors and PSAs. Physical studies? Oh. Every boy my age I knew had something like this in their arsenal. Powder firecrackers that blow up with a very loud sound. Especially inside an arcway. It's said that they were produced in China, that a single of them can blow your finger off if you light it up and clutch it in your hand. There are firecrackers in here? Especially the black corsair type. They won't be enough to blow up plastic soldiers, but when it comes to stuff made of plaster, they should work. So this. Did we miss something? No. Sit down. After a moment of hesitation, I sat down at Barbarian's desk, the place where I was supposed to be, assigned by Liliana Pavlova at first. The shutter resumed as if someone just imposed a movie.
Бабушка Бабурина такой кипиш устроила, когда он домой не явился.
Baburin's grandma made such a fuss when he didn't return home.
Sначала в школу прибежала,
First she
потом
ran to
ментов
school and
вызвала.
called the cops.
Да-да-да.
Yes. Da-da-da. Kata stuck a cunning disappear, then leaned into the neighbor and whispering something. Girls from the second row also leaned in and she shared something with them too. Whispers, nods. I kept catching her stare on myself. Her neighbors there too. The whole class was watching me. So if they think we are a psychopath, maybe we should kill all of them. Just how our fame is like. Our reputation. We just left our reputation if we kill them, right? It was like they felt the need to watch me because they were searching for traces of blood on my fingers. I wanted to defend myself and shout, guys, listen, I'm innocent. The diligents turned around and stared at me in silence. Their looks were dripping with malice. But why? What did I do to them? Their friend went missing and they are still focused on me. Suddenly I noticed Biasha drilling a hole in my nose with his eye. It felt like he was about to point his finger at me and shout at the top of his lungs, Aaron, look! Barbarian snatched his glasses. No, he has a bag. Murderer! But he remained silent, as if there was nothing special at all about my glasses. I may be going mad, but I think Biasha knows something. He knows something, but he won't tell me what. Roma gave me a meaningful glance, as if he reminded me of his promise. My aging temper ran me of it. I need to stay away from Paulina. As if looking for protection, I clutched the ruler until my hand hurt.
Не надо быть
You don't have
Колумбо,
to be
чтобы
Columbo to solve
догадаться.
this. Did we okay. Columbo is an old 80s series, a criminal series about an old guy who solved crime. I think he was a policeman or so. I was never interested as a young man at a kid. But nowadays I think so. Ooh, I've seen some scenes on YouTube. I think so. Oh, series looks great, and it's really intelligent how, or really smart how they make all the contraption to kill someone and so on. But this isn't right. Column: an American crime drama television series starring Peter Falk as Columbo, a homicide detective of Los Angeles policeman. Detective, okay, a private eye or what? A detective with the Los Angeles Police Department. I don't know. I think about detective, so he's hired by the police.
Кто на
Who
Бабурина
had a
зуб
grudge against
имел?
Baburin?
Кто его вчера
Who
ударил?
hit him yesterday? Bullied him, and then
Поиздевался,
the matter roll fell off my weak finger and hit the floor with a jingle and that made the other kids shudder. Katya bit her tongue and squirmed nervously. Oh, I like it that people fear me. She scraped against the floor. My classmate moved away from me, closer to the exit toward the teacher's desk. I was not the only one to catch the wind of the change. Romka and Biasha looked around and winced in contempt. Too bad they weren't afraid of me like everybody else.
Да прикуси ты!
Shut it.
Бабурин, небось,
I bet
бабку
your boy just got a
пожрался
whipping
из-за
from his
Милны.
old hack and ran off.
Скоро найдется.
They will find him soon.
Найдется, ага,
They will find him. Alright.
во овраге,
In
со
the ravine
вспоротым
with his
брюхом.
stomach cut open. Oh fuck, ravine. In the ravine. Damn it, I don't know what's this. I gulped. I emerged someone snowy blanket. His face, white like a fish belly, split down the middle by the crevice of his mouth. Snowflakes falling on his last eye and filling up his throat. See, I could almost hear its condensing tone. That's all you followed. But why was Simon only me one get his themselves for bullying me? Weren't all of them supposed to disappear? Rumka, Biasha, Kata, along with every laughing old Luca? Of course, Simon did me a favor by disappearing. Thanks to him, my classmate now started me in Avi. Avi? So I think not only Romka also hit him really hard, right? So Romka gave him a fist and he's we lost our concussion. Or we was concussed. We was totally blacked out. So but I don't know why Baburin? Because he hated me. Maybe Alisa sees through the window what happens. And only Baburin was bullying me. So maybe Alisa is somehow involved. She knows the all and the all catch Baburin. Semyon. But that was only one side of the coin. What if I have to repay that favor soon? The door creaked. Paulina entered the classroom. I straightened up in a hurry so she wouldn't see me looking like a scared critter. Paulina found me with her eyes, gave me a short nod and went to her seat. Katya rushed to the neighbor's end like a lab rat that saw a threat and started whispering, switching her gaze between me and Paulina. Message on pieces of paper started jumping around the classroom. Oh! Paulina is Alisa, somehow. And she was glad that he kicked the dog, so we have some, damn it. What's the word? We're feeding with the dog, so. And maybe we make a barn, and that was her plan? I don't know. Maybe that's a plan. Or just, I don't know. Messages on a piece of paper start jumping around the classroom. The ringer's trill announced the start of the class.
Так, заканчиваем бардак. Дети, встаньте.
All right, stop messing around. Class, stand up.
Петров,
You
тебя
too,
это тоже
Petrov. Lilia Pavlova went to her desk, followed by a policeman in a uniform. Oh, here again. It was a man that visited us just recently. Tall in his chair, so sharp you could get cut on it.
Здрасте.
Hello there, kids.
Здравствуйте!
Oh, boy.
Садитесь.
You can sit down, kids.
Познакомьтесь.
This is
Это
senior-
старший лейтенант Константин Владимирович Тихонов.
This is Senior Lieutenant. You hear what she's saying, Konstantin Vladimirovich Tikhonov.
Он задаст вам несколько вопросов и проведет небольшую лекцию по
He's
безопасности.
going to ask you a couple of questions and give you a small piece. What is piece A? This is the information that I need. Not Columbo.
Лучше лекция от милиционера, чем
The
урок.
class living up talking to policemen was way better than studying. Ah, okay. I'm on the hunter was ready to sit through hundreds of hours of Russian literature just to escape the lieutenant's oppressive stare. His brown eyes followed around the classroom looking for me. A hair stood on the back of my neck, and the icicle had lodged in my gut.
А правда,
Is it true
что
that Baron got killed by
Бабурина
a serial
маньяк
killer?
убил?
Was is a bitch? Is this a bitch?
Екатерина, ну-ка,
Shush,
цыц.
Ekaterina.
Вопросы здесь взрослые задают.
Let the adults ask a question here.
Просто нам всем страшно.
We are all scared. Yeah,
Может, убийца бродит где-то рядом.
maybe the killers is somewhere close.
Или сидит у нас за спиной.
Maybe there's even sitting among us. We are just all 12 years, right? Her sly stare was directed at me. Tikhonov, stop it. Tikhonov? Step in between the rows of desks and start working at an excruciating... Wow, what the fuck is this word? At an excruciatingly slow... excruciating slow pace. Ah, okay. He comes with a slow pace, brushing his fingers against the chairs he passed by. Excruciatingly. Some of the students almost broke their necks following his movements. That's how a crowd of commoners would gleefully anticipate a public execution in the Middle Ages. Ouch. And he just walked, getting closer and closer to me. I grit my teeth to stop myself from scheming. Calm down, breath. You didn't kill or kidnap anyone. He already knew the answer to his question, but the policeman still asked in a stern voice.
Петров Антон?
Anton Petrov?
Да.
Yes.
Встань, Петров.
Stand up, Petrov. My muscle turned to stone. I got up, uncled myself from the chair. I felt like I could hear all my joints creak in the process. I only wish that Paulina wouldn't turn around and see the grimace of horror on my face. Grimace of horror? Dude, you have a stony face. There's nothing. There's not a single mimic, nervous something ever. There's nothing, not an itch or so. You're a stone face. If only I could be somewhere far away in the forest, digging myself into a snow pile, rolling up into a boulder. Okay. The officer started me as if he was about to lock a pair of handcuffs on my wrists. I wonder how cold those bristles are to touch. I imaged myself getting jailed and put into juvenile detention center where tens of Simmons would constantly harass me.
Я ничего не знаю.
I don't know
Я тут ни
anything. I
при
have
чем.
nothing to do with this.
А тебя никто и не обвиняет.
Nobody's accusing you of anything. And with these words, we end this episode. And look at the stare glance, huh? Look at this. Emotionless. Maybe, what has this guy seen, huh? He was in a Soviet Union policeman, huh? And in Russia now. Maybe he's corrupt. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he has seen some very brutally things together. It's maybe something that you can name it. So, and therefore, I wish you good night and dream well, my friends.